When may you overtake another vehicle on the left? When a slower vehicle is travelling in the right-hand lane of a dual carriageway. When you're in a one-way street. When approaching a motorway slip road where you'll be turning off. When the vehicle in front is signalling to turn left. You're travelling in very heavy rain. How is this likely to affect your overall stopping distance? It will be doubled. It will be 10 times greater. It will be no different. It will be halved. What should you do when you're overtaking at night? Beware of bends in the road ahead. Sound your horn twice before moving out. Wait until a bend so that you can see oncoming headlights. Put your headlights on full beam. When may you wait in a box junction? When approaching a pelican crossing. When you're stationary in a queue of traffic. When oncoming traffic prevents you turning right. When approaching a zebra crossing. Which of these plates normally appears with this road sign? What do traffic calming measures do? Make parking easier. Make overtaking easier. Stop road rage. Slow traffic down. You're on a motorway in fog. The left-hand edge of the motorway can be identified by reflective studs. What colour are they? Green, red, white, amber. What's a rumble device designed to do? Alert you to low tyre pressure. Alert you to a hazard. Give directions. Prevent cattle escaping. What should you do when making a journey in foggy conditions? Follow other vehicles' tail lights closely. Keep 2 seconds behind the vehicle ahead. Leave plenty of time for your journey. Avoid using dipped headlights. What must you do when overtaking a car at night? Make sure you don't dazzle other road users. Select a higher gear. Flash your headlights before overtaking. Switch your lights to full beam before overtaking. You're travelling on a road that has speed humps. What should you do when the driver in front is travelling more slowly than you? Overtake as soon as you can. Sound your horn. Slow down and stay behind. Flash your headlights. You see these markings on the road. Why are they there? To keep the area clear of traffic. To show a safe distance between vehicles. To make you aware of your speed. To warn you to change direction. How would you identify a section of road used by trams? There would be yellow hatch markings around it. There would be metal studs around it. There would be a different surface texture. There would be zigzag markings alongside it. What should you do when you meet an oncoming vehicle on a single-track road? Switch on your hazard warning lights. Reverse back to the main road. Carry out an emergency stop. Stop at a passing place. The road is wet. Why might a motorcyclist steer round drain covers on a bend? To help judge the bend using the drain covers as marker points. To avoid puncturing the tyres on the edge of the drain covers. To avoid splashing pedestrians on the pavement. To prevent the motorcycle sliding on the metal drain covers. After this hazard, you should test your brakes. Why is this? You'll be going down a long hill. You'll have just crossed a long bridge. Your brakes will be soaking wet. You'll be on a slippery road. Why should you always reduce your speed when travelling in fog? The brakes don't work as well. It's more difficult to see what's ahead. You'll be dazzled by other headlights. The engine will take longer to warm up. How will your vehicle be affected when you drive up steep hills? The steering will feel heavier. The engine will work harder. The higher gears will pull better. Overtaking will be easier. You're driving on the motorway in windy conditions. What should you do as you pass a high-sided vehicle? Drive alongside very closely. Expect normal conditions. Be wary of a sudden gust. Increase your speed. What should you do to correct a rear wheel skid? Steer into it. Apply your handbrake. Steer away from it. Not steer at all. You're driving in fog. Why should you keep well back from the vehicle in front? In case it changes direction suddenly. In case its fog lights dazzle you. In case it stops suddenly. In case its brake lights dazzle you. What should you do if you park on the road when it's foggy? Leave side lights switched on. Leave dipped headlights switched on. Leave dipped headlights and fog lights switched on. You're driving at night and are dazzled by vehicle headlights coming towards you. What should you do? Slow down or stop. Flash your main beam headlights. Pull down your sun visor. When may front fog lights be used? When visibility is seriously reduced. When they aren't as bright as the headlights. When an audible warning device is used. When they're fitted above the bumper. You're driving with your front fog lights switched on. Earlier fog has now cleared. What should you do? Flash them to warn oncoming traffic that it's foggy. Leave them on if other drivers have their lights on. Drive with them on instead of your headlights. Switch them off as long as visibility remains good. Why should you switch off your rear fog lights when the fog has cleared? To prevent dazzling following drivers. To stop draining the battery. To stop the engine losing power. To allow your headlights to work. What will happen if you use rear fog lights in good conditions? They'll make it safer when towing a trailer. They'll protect you from larger vehicles. They'll dazzle other drivers. They'll make following drivers keep back. What can fitting chains to your wheels help to prevent? Damage to the road surface. Wear to the tyres. Skidding in deep snow. The brakes locking. How can you use your vehicle's engine to control your speed? By selecting reverse gear. By changing to a lower gear. By changing to a higher gear. By selecting neutral. Why could it be dangerous to keep the clutch down or select neutral for long periods of time while you're driving? Engine damage may be caused. It will wear tyres out more quickly. Fuel spillage will occur. You'll have less steering and braking control. You're driving on an icy road. What distance from the car in front should you drive? 8 times the normal distance. 6 times the normal distance. 10 times the normal distance. 4 times the normal distance. You're driving on a well-lit motorway on a clear night. What must you do? Use front fog lights. Use your headlights. Use rear fog lights. Use only your side lights. You're on a motorway at night with other vehicles just ahead of you. Which lights should you have on? Main beam headlights, front fog lights, dipped headlights, side lights only. What will affect your vehicle's stopping distance? The street lighting, the time of day, the condition of the tyres, the speed limit. You're driving on a motorway at night. When may you switch off your headlights? When there are vehicles close in front of you. When you're travelling below 50 miles per hour. When your vehicle is broken down on the hard shoulder. When the motorway is lit. When will you feel the effects of engine braking? When you're in neutral. When you change to a higher gear. When you change to a lower gear. When you only use the handbrake. Daytime visibility is poor, but not seriously reduced. Which lights should you switch on? Dipped headlights, rear fog lights, headlights and front fog lights. Why are vehicles fitted with rear fog lights? To make them more visible when driving at high speed. To make them more visible in thick fog. To show when they've broken down in a dangerous position. To warn drivers following closely to drop back. While you're driving in fog, it becomes necessary to use front fog lights. Switch them off when visibility improves. Don't use them on motorways. Only use them in heavy traffic conditions. Only use them on dual carriageways. What should you do when there's been a heavy fall of snow? Don't drive unless it's essential. Only drive when your journey is short. Don't drive unless you have a mobile phone. Drive with your hazard warning lights on. You're driving down a long steep hill. You suddenly notice that your brakes aren't working as well as normal. What's the usual cause of this? The brakes overheating, oil on the brakes, badly adjusted brakes, air in the brake fluid. You have to make a journey in fog. What should you do before you set out? Make sure that you have a warning triangle in the vehicle. Check the battery. Make sure that the windows are clean. Top up the radiator with antifreeze. You've just driven out of fog. What must you do now that visibility has improved? Keep your front fog lights switched on. Keep your rear fog lights switched on. Leave your fog lights switched on in case the fog returns. Switch off your fog lights. Why is it dangerous to leave rear fog lights on when they're not needed? They may be confused with brake lights. Direction indicators may not work properly. The bulbs would fail. Electrical systems could be overloaded. What will happen if you hold the clutch pedal down or roll in neutral for too long? It will reduce your control. It will use more fuel. It will improve tyre wear. It will cause the engine to overheat. You're driving down a steep hill. Why could it be dangerous to keep the clutch down or roll in neutral for too long? It will damage the engine. Your vehicle will pick up speed. Fuel consumption will be higher. It will wear tyres out more quickly. Why is it bad technique to coast when driving downhill? The tyres will wear more quickly. The engine will overheat. The vehicle will gain speed. The fuel consumption will increase. What should you do when dealing with this hazard? Use a low gear and drive slowly. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Use a high gear to prevent wheel spin. Switch on your windscreen wipers. Why is travelling in neutral for long distances, known as coasting, wrong? The engine will run faster. It will make the engine stall. It will cause the car to skid. There won't be any engine braking. When must you use dipped headlights during the day? When parking. In poor visibility. All the time. On narrow streets. You're braking on a wet road. Your vehicle begins to skid. It doesn't have anti-lock brakes. What's the first thing you should do? Quickly pull up the handbrake. Push harder on the brake pedal. Gently use the accelerator. Release the foot brake.